Campbell, I want to bring you in on this issue with the French. I was talking a little bit earlier in the program about it. Does not seem to be abating. We've heard that the French ambassador will be at the National Press Club tomorrow. Surprise, surprise. A very helpful Canberra gallery will kick that along. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I saw a Twitter comment from the Australian's Ben Packham today. Let's have a look at that. He says, it must be asked yet again, where is Marise Payne? Now, it got me thinking. He's absolutely right. Huge foreign affairs issue. Nowhere to be seen. What's your response, Campbell?
Well, I had a bit of a look at what Marise Payne's been up to. So it seems like she's been dealing with matters in the Pacific, Fiji, and also Afghanistan, and talking to Pakistan about those things. Maybe they've simply, just trying to be kind about this, maybe they've carved up the responsibilities here, and the Prime Minister's taking the dispute with France on the chin. Look, I'm rather sympathetic for the PM on this one. I think, you know, he was between a rock and a hard place. There was no easy decision to make. He has made the decision that's right for Australia, and France needs to move on. And of course, it's all very much about their presidential election. I will say one thing though: it was a bit rich though for the PM to suggest France was insulting Australia. That wasn't where the criticism was directed at all, of course. That was a political tactic. Spot on. All right, let's go down to Victoria again. The Andrews government's draconian state of emergency law. We know they've gone through the lower house. They went through in a matter of hours. They'll land in the upper house when Parliament's back in 3 weeks' time. I've covered the story a lot here on the show, Amanda. Legislation's been slammed everywhere, including by the Victorian Bar Association. Appalling, they call it. Stasi-like. A number of QCs have also published a letter to the Premier. What capacity, you're the Minister assisting the Attorney General, what capacity has the Commonwealth any power to step in here? Are there international agreement breaches, let's say? What can be done to stop this power grab?
The first thing to say is that they are appalling laws. What we should be doing now is stepping back and learning about the encroachments on liberty during the last 2 years and how we can prevent those from going too far into the future. Now, the role of the Commonwealth here is a little bit of a vexed one. It's true that the Commonwealth has had clear positions, for instance, on the voluntariness of vaccination and the like, but the Commonwealth could, if it wanted to, rely on the external affairs power to try and, as the lawyers call it, cover the field to legislate over this. But I would warn for caution before suggesting that's a good call. Every time we ask the federal government to chip away at the responsibilities of the states, we empower greater mediocrity in them instead of asking our states to step up and be great and be responsible and accountable and to act in line with the values of the community they represent. Further and further centralising power in Canberra is not necessarily the best long-term decision for Australia as a whole.
You're saying politely there, forget the Constitution. Yeah. Just let me make a point, sorry. You're saying politely, Amanda, forget the Constitution. Victorians are going to have to deal with it at the ballot box come November next year?
Look, I think that is the best way to handle it. The reason for that is because it would drive better government at all levels if we had people hold state governments accountable. Every time we ask more and more to be done by the federal government, we're putting an awful lot of eggs in one basket for a start, and we are accepting the underperformance of state governments in a way that we really shouldn't.